their go-to self combo.
Presley, what's your go-to self combo?
Mine is obviously the First Base, and this one because you use it at nighttime, and nighttime skincare is so important.
Samara, what's your go-to combo?
Okay, obviously I use the First Base, and then I use the hyaluronic microdose because my skin is really dry and it helps with moisture.
Bree, what's your go-to self combo?
I use the First Base, obviously, and then I add in the hyaluronic acid microdose because I love my skin feeling moisturized.
Julia, what's your go-to self combo?
I like the retinol one because it makes my skin barriers a lot stronger.
Lola, what's your go-to self combo?
I use the First Base and the probiotic peptide microdose because it has vitamin A, C, and E in it.
Sophie, what's your go-to self combo?
My self combo is the First Base and the retinol microdose because it leaves my skin so bright.
Tallulah, what's your go-to self combo?
My go-to self combo is obviously the First Base and then the hyaluronic acid as it makes my skin feel so hydrated.
Kendall, what's your go-to self combo?
Mine is the base and the probiotic peptide because it helps reduce wrinkles and fine lines.
Brian, what's your go-to self combo?
The First Base and the hyaluronic microdose because I'm a swimmer, so my skin gets really dry, so I need the hydration.
Zuza, what's your go-to self combo?
I obviously use the First Base and then I use the hyaluronic microdose because in the hospital my skin gets so dry.
Nevaeh, what's your go-to self combo?
Okay, I use this base to help moisturize my skin and then I use this one for hyperpigmentation.
Aya, what's your go-to self combo?
I use the First Base and the retinol microdose because it evens out my skin tone.
Lily, what's your go-to self combo?
I use First Base and I use this one because I have very sensitive skin and it helps moisturize my skin.
And mine is all of them. I love them all equally.